EQ is emotional intelligence. So what do you think emotional intelligence versus just regular intelligence, what do you think the difference really is?
That's like motivation stuff.
Motivations, okay, that's a good word. How about you?
I'm like scrambling my brain, but I don't know.
Okay, cool. Ladies, EQ is probably the most important thing in the world. It's wild because we're not really taught EQ. And at a young age, emotional intelligence, we start learning things from our environment, right? So when you remember Noah? Some of you met Noah from last time.
Your son.
Yeah.
Where is he?
He is with his mom. So with Noah, everything I say, everything I do, everything he sees, he's learning, right? And that's the foundation for when he's you guys' age, right? He'll learn how to communicate. He learned all of that from that first, what I like to call first stage of learning. So emotional intelligence is just being able to identify how you're feeling and knowing how to veer that into the right route. So, which leads us to the next topic, reacting versus responding. Someone give me an example of what reacting might mean?
Say like, yeah, this might be like a way off topic thing, but say you're in an argument with someone that you love, or
Mm-hmm.
someone that you're in a relationship with. Then she does something that you don't like, you react to it, such as like, just, say like you just start arguing. It's like, just blurt out words without you really thinking.
Okay, that's a good one. Reacting versus responding. So reacting is, who's ever been in an argument? We've all been. We're all humans, right? And so who, in that argument, refer to that last time you were in an argument, in that argument, how motivated were you to be right?
Very.
Or prove your point?
Very.
Right? So we need to be aware of that, right? Because when we tend to just want to be right, we're not taking the time to understand, see the other side of the coin, you know? So reacting versus responding. Reacting, can someone give me an example of reacting? Just a statement, a
Saying
quote.
something you don't really mean.
Saying something you really don't mean.
Which I do a lot.
Which you do a lot, okay. See, now we're talking about EQ, right? Because a lot of what EQ is responding versus reacting. Arlene, right? If I come to you and I'm like, you know what? That's an ugly shirt. That's an ugly shirt. It's not even red. It's Perry purple, right? Obviously, it's not true. I'm just giving an example. I like your shirt. But how would you respond to someone insulting you or passing judgment? How would you respond? Or how would you? What would you say?
I'll tell them to not look at my shirt and mind their business.
Okay.
With more eyes.
What do you think her response was? Was that a reaction or a response?
Reaction.
I think it's a response.
Yeah, I can see a little bit of reaction in it, but it was pretty, most people would have been like, you know what, your shirt is ugly. And now we're in an argument. Now we're trying to prove each other wrong about whose shirt is really ugly. I'm sure we can all refer to a time where we were in a very stressful time and we just reacted. I can certainly vouch for that. Between the ages of, well, actually all my life, but from 18 all the way to 21, I reacted a lot, I was in a relationship where I reacted a lot. Me and my mother, every time my mom, we didn't have the best relationship after I left college, and so, every time she would say stuff, or I remember the time she was like, if you leave school, you're going to be a bum. And that really hurt me. She was my number one supporter, right? And so I had a choice in that moment to respond or react. Now, if your mom or a close person to you said that to you, how would you respond? Honestly. I mean, we know it would hurt, right? So, just accept it, okay? All right. The important part about EQ is you really begin to notice how much EQ you actually have in high stressful moments. And so our purpose today with the whole workshop is to test that and actually see the other side of the coin. Because someone growing up in an environment where all I saw was reacting, how to react. When I was younger, I got kicked out of a preschool because it's fighting and misbehaving, but I share that with you because I was able to make a smooth transition, not smooth, but I was able to make a transition to stronger EQ without the background of that support, right? I took initiative to learn, I surrounded myself by great people. So,
Should I go make your teams even?
yes, please. As I write this down,
Even teams.
Oh, Eduardo can do it.
He said he is with us.
Wait, you went over there? You
We've
nailed
got
it
one
down?
more, so he can go on this team, and then we'll be 3 and 4. Does that
alright,
work?
that works.
3, 4.
But there's 4 already.
How do you win those seven?
Well, no, that's
That's
a
a
different
different
game. Yeah, that game will be in a few minutes. First, we're just gonna prepare ourselves for the big game. So, real quick again, to reintroduce the directions, I'm going to give you a statement. And the team to answer first, whether it's reactive or proactive, right? Do we understand that? Reactive, proactive. You have to give a reasoning why whether it's proactive or reactive. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Cool. First statement. If I had the money, I would travel.
Reactive.
Okay. Oh, he shakes his head. If I had the money to travel, I would.
I say proactive.
Proactive? Okay, this team says proactive. What do you guys say?
I already said my answer.
Okay, reactive. All right, but we're a team, so our whole team has to.
Oh.
What do you, Ron? You want to go proactive?
I don't know.
Reactive? What do you say?
Do either. Go
Okay,
proactive.
so
I
she
wanna
says
go
reactive. So we have proactive, reactive. Why do you think it's reactive?
Because that's just like, oh, if I had the money, I'll do it. I'll travel.
Okay. Okay. And why do you guys say it's proactive?
We say it's proactive because if you're saying that, it sort of gets you in the mindset to try to work harder and stuff like that,
Mhm.
which benefits you in getting that mindset in order to travel.
Interesting. So the right answer is reactive. It's
Boom.
reactive. Yeah, but your explanation could have been better. But
Yeah,
yes,
I could have explained it better.
you did get it right. But at the end of the day, the reason why it's reactive is because we're not putting ourselves in control. We're saying if I had the money, I would travel, right? So you're allowing something to limit you in what you want to do. So anytime you're limiting yourself in any way, which is okay, if I had the money, yeah, I would. That's reactive. So let's kind of refer to some of the times in our lives where we're like, when Arlene is hitting up Deborah, let's go out. And she's like, if I had the money to
That's
go
really
out.
her. That's really her.
Well, I mean, we've all been through it, right? We've all been through it, right? Or if I had a new outfit, I would, right? But again, let's understand that when you're putting something in the way of you actually accomplishing something, then it's reactive. That make sense? If I had a degree, I would.
What are we saying on this side?
Is this reactive / proactive?
Well, that's for you guys to determine.
Depending on where you're standing for either. If like you're not of like, depending on which degree you're mentioning, if like it's a college degree or something, then if you're still in high school, then it's out of your power. You can't do nothing about that. But it still falls into reactive, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, good point. I like that. So he says reactive. What do you guys say?
Can you read it like you?
If I had a degree, I would.
If you had the degree,
Yep.
you would.
Yep. Reactive. Right. So now we're getting hang of the terminology. If I had this, I would do this. Right. You're limiting yourself. And so, but I want to elaborate a little bit more on what he was talking about, because he said, well, if I'm a high school student I don't really have control over the degree. Because this allows us all to learn from each other.
Like, it's something that you can argue.
Well, we're not going to argue, we're just going to share this. No, I understand. No, I'm not saying you're wrong or anything, but what I'm saying is, let's think a bit deeper than that, because I tended to learn a lot more when I was out there in the field. I call it the field, but reality, the world, right? And so, Steve brought to my attention that there are kids graduating with an associate's degree. All right? And this is a vocational school, so you guys have a trade. And something that we implement in our program is allowing high school students to experience what is it that they want to do, and experiencing that now. So if you're telling me you want to be a contractor, great. We're gonna use the power of networking, find contractors, and see if we can get you on the field and get some work done. See what I'm saying? So he made a great point, because again, like, you know, of course you can get a degree while you're in high school. Very doable. It will be hard, but nothing worthwhile in life. It's gonna be easy. For me, I always say if it's too easy, I should be a little worried about it. So I'm not really growing from it.
Yep.
Does that make sense? It's too easy. I'm not growing. Right? Because when you're in the gym, who works out here? Okay, all right. That's good. Good props. So we're in the gym. We're lifting weights, or we're running on the treadmill. I don't know why I forgot that word. When we're running on the treadmill, we're working at our muscles, right? When you're lifting weights, you have weight pushing on your muscles, which is allowing your muscles to expand and grow, right? You end up looking like him, right? So again, when life, right, or obstacles come into your life, it's only allowing you to grow. If it's too easy, then it's like, where is there any growth? Because when you spend time complaining or stressing out, right, it's part of life. But again, your decisions, your choices brought you there, no one else. What tends to happen is we always like to blame, because we have a very hard time being honest with ourselves, letting ourselves know when we are wrong. So we're full of pride, full of ego, right? But too much of that will do us a big disservice. So again, proactive, putting yourself in, taking responsibility, being in control of your thoughts and feelings, and then reactive is just the blaming, you know, making excuses. Right? I'm just trying to simplify it as much as I possibly can, so you can kind of understand what the reactive versus proactive means. Does that make sense?
The person, or like, I know Valentine's Day, dudes that are single, chicks that are single, they go on Instagram, they see all this, oh, my Valentine, you're like, dang, where's my love at? You know what I mean? But that's not where love starts. Love starts from where? Within. If you don't love yourself, how can you share or love another human being? How can you? It's not going to be intimate. There's no reason for a relationship. You know what I mean? There's no connection, right? And then wealth. I say wealth starts in the mindset. Yeah, materialistic stuff. Money works. Trust me. I had 2 cars. I had all that stuff. I lost it all. It can go like that. You know what I mean? So wealth starts here. If you don't know how to handle $1 million or a 6-figure income or $80,000 per year income, you're gonna blow it all, right? It's happened to a lot of people, and it's you see it all the time. That's why Thomas asked you the question earlier. What is do you think lottery? Why do you think lottery winners go down the drain when they win all that money? It's because the wealth here. Wealth starts here. Wealth is in your mindset, right? And then health as the last pillar. Health. 4 pillars to living a good life. Health is should be number 1, right? Because how are you going to leave a legacy if you're not even going to live long enough to enjoy the legacy and see the legacy and see the fruits of your labor go down generation to generation? I say make a dent, right? That's something I use a lot, make a dent. You go on my social media, you see make a dent, you search that on social media, you probably see my face in there, right? Because I use it all the time. Make a dent. What are you doing in the community? What are you doing in your circle? What are you doing for yourself to make a dent in the world? What kind of legacy are you going to leave behind? Right? What will people remember you for? So when you think of ideas, when you think of things to do, when you think of things to create, you got to think of, okay, how can I make an impact with the people in the community so much so that if I die, they're going to remember what this did. That's what making a dent is, leaving a legacy. So remember the 4 pillars of wealth. I wanted to share that with you guys because that's what helped me a lot, right? Health, wealth, love, and happiness. You gotta pay attention to those 4 every single time.
What do we got?
Right there.
Get creative.
What?
We need
No.
creative team names.
You know what
Creative.
that? You like it when people call you that.
Hey, tú.
Oh, it's because you started leaning different. I thought that
You just want me to say that?
Oh my god.
You didn't even listen.
I know the answer already.
Alright, yeah, back up. I'll start exercising after the workload eases.
Whoa, that got a lot.
Go ahead.
after what?
It's reactive.
That's right.
That's orange. Still opportunity. Huh?
Orange is tied with green. Blue, you're in second place.
I'll be relieved when I have my loans paid off.
I saw orange. But you guys
Dang,
didn't hear
orange.
they didn't hear the question though.
Duh.
They were fast, but they didn't hear the question.
Alright.
So
What is it?
Okay.
Oh, you guys have to come to. You have 5